Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the morning check, or I should say, welcome to the trader prep. Eventually, I'll get that right. And today is the 16th day of July. We've got two charts up on the screen right now. One is the daily chart of the ES, but before I showed that, I wanted to show you this 30-minute chart, which shows the pivot points. So here is the pivot point for the ES down at 2102. We've been hanging around and just above the R1 level at 2110. The next level comes in at 2115, and then R3 is all the way up here at 2128. Now the 2115, if we come over to the daily chart, that's the next line that we had, the next resistance spot, and then the 2128 is actually up by the upper Bollinger Band. I doubt that we get there today, but who knows? So what I was been looking for is for this to roll over. Yesterday, I said at the market check that we had the small body candle, and that candle was a lot smaller before the end of the day when some of the earnings came out. It pushed up a little bit higher, but still it was okay. It closed below my 2107 level. And then today we had prices expand higher. And right now we've got Draghi speaking. We had jobless claims come out a little bit ago. Neither of those have really moved the market too awful much. The market's been relatively sideways since about midnight, as we just saw on that 30-minute chart. It's been going sideways for a while, but this is a bullish development. This is why I said last night that I need some type of confirmation that a small body candle is not a reversal signal, even if this was an official hanging man, which it's not just because of the upper shadow. But even if it was, that clearly needs confirmation anyways. We've talked about that many times. So right now, we see that this is very bullish, that it's breaking above my probable level and maybe going up towards the highs and maybe even trying to tag the upper Bollinger Band. So two things are going to happen today. Well, I guess there's more than two likely things. One is this fails, it comes back, it prints a shooting star. If that happens, you'll probably see me throw a short on this with a stop above the shooting star. That would be one possibility. You can see that we opened here, we moved up. If we pulled back, and let's say we closed at 2102.50, that would be a long shadow, a nice shaped shooting star with a small red body. Or we're going to close towards the high of the day and we keep drifting up on the light volume like we have been overnight. And most of this was a light volume drift, this was a light volume drift, and maybe it's just going to continue this light volume drift into the end of the week. That's possible. If so, it's going to be pretty easy, especially from where we are right now. This is a pretty decent resistance level, but if we start breaking above that 2115 resistance level, it's pretty easy over the next several days to get up to the 2130. This market recently, I shouldn't say recently, for the last bunch of years now, when it looks like it's going to roll over and where normal trading would suggest that it's going to roll over, it keeps pushing higher. And that's why you've seen me take a lot less swing trades than I normally would. Normally, I've got 1, 2, 3 swing trades going all the time. Last couple of years, I've been doing a lot more day trading because the market does not have the normal crests and troughs that it normally would have. And this is just another example. Normally, it would have rolled over here, and it still might, but it looks pretty strong right now, right? And we've got Draghi still talking right now, so I have no idea what he's saying. Don't really listen to it, but you can see that there's some price reaction. So right now, the ES in a very bullish position as long as it stays above the 2107. Again, if it fails into the end of the day, got something else going on. The NASDAQ, we said, was a little bit more bullish than the S&P was, and it also extended a little bit on some of the earnings last night. And we see the NASDAQ right now is at a new all-time high. And if it was to close here, it would be a new all-time closing high. So that's obviously very bullish, and that hasn't even suggested that it wants to turn over. I was looking that if the ES or the S&P 500 was going to turn over, that this would follow, but maybe this is just leading it and wants to continue higher here. So this is obviously a very bullish move, and the this you've heard me say many times, this market, just like it has helium in it, and it just continues higher because this is a setup. This is a topping pattern, and it's trying to blow right through the topping pattern, which it's done many times in the last 4 or 5 years, and just continues to do that. We've got the Dow up 58 points right now, and what the Nasdaq is up. The Nasdaq and the Russell are both up about 0.5%. Where the ES is up 0.4%, and the Dow is up 0.3%. But just like we saw in the other markets, the Dow is trying to do the same thing, where we had a bit of a small body candle. Again, that extended right after the close, the stock market closed. Obviously, this doesn't close till 5:15, and it's extending up beyond the blue line. So all the markets pretty much in the same boat, and they're extending their bullish move. So that's why if you have a situation where you're looking for a top like yesterday, you've got to wait for some confirmation. You'd rather have the higher probability move than be concerned about, I want to catch this as close to the top as possible, because their top may not be a top and it may continue higher just like it's doing right now. So you have a theory, you wait till the theory plays out. The theory didn't play out, so then you go to plan B. And this is what the Russell looks like. And the Russell moves up. It's got like a little bullish flagging situation going on here. It still has not broken above its blue line. But if it does, we'll see that probably run up to the 1290 level or so. So today is a very important day. If we hold these levels in the indices or move higher, then the topping pattern that I've been talking about is off, and we'll see what happens next. So interesting development. So with the markets, the stock markets extending higher, we've got the 30-year moving lower. It's down about 0.3% right now. And why these are switching a little bit slowly today. Let me check something. 1 second. No, that's right. This is what the ZB looks like. So we didn't come to the blue line when we said that was bullish. We get a small bullish reaction. Then we get a nice follow through with a Morningstar type action here, and it's just pulling back with a little bit of an inside day. So it's still rather bullish. I'm still looking for higher prices on this, but if it can't get above and close above yesterday's high, obviously we've got something different going on. But the odds are still favoring that it moves higher from here. And if it does hold and we get a close above yesterday's high, we'll at least be looking at the upper Bollinger Band, and probably the highs up in here. But this is still early. We want to wait on that a little bit and see what that wants to do. We saw crude getting beat up recently, and crude is just kind of flat right now. We've been talking about this bear flag for, I don't know, since last week, and the bear flag continues. It doesn't want to break to the upside or to the downside. Over 54, we're looking for 56. If we break below 50.50, we'll be looking for 48, although there is pretty good support here just below 50, but we'll see. And with this support just below or right around this 50 level is probably why it's having a difficult time breaking down out of this bear flag. But we'll continue to watch it. Gold slipping lower again. Silver even doing more than slipping, but we see that 1140 was an important area on gold. And we see that we have the low back in here in March, and it moves up. It makes a high. This is actually a higher high. It comes back down. It makes a lower high, and since then it's just been sliding lower. It's looking pretty weak here. It's amazing to me that gold can't get any kind of a bid going. This is silver. Silver's off actually 1.25%. It's trying to come down and challenge these lows, I guess. It's been in a downtrend since the same time gold has been, so it's been looking rather weak. We've got copper somewhat unchanged now, and it's still in a downtrend. It's turned over at the same time gold and silver did, so that's still looking lower at this time. There's nothing here suggesting that it wants to turn around and start moving higher. We've got all three of the grains looking higher. We've got the beans. These are the beans, and they're holding the 10-period moving average. This is a potential double top, so it's important what it does here at the 10 if it moves lower, important what it does at the 20. If it breaks below the 20, it will likely confirm that double top, so we'll be watching this very closely. With corn, it moved up. It's in a bull flag, and it's still hanging out in that bull flag. So we'll see if it wants to continue higher. It looks like it probably does, but it's moved up quite a bit, and it's just kind of resting. And we've got wheat that's pulled back to the 20-period moving average, which is also halfway between the 38 and the 50% retracement level, and it's trying to spring off that. We'll see if that is successful. We've had a target on the dollar index at 98-ish. Actually, it's 98.16. And if we start breaking over 98.16 on a closing basis, then we'll be looking at 100. This is a nice run. We've been talking recently that it's been kind of stuck sideways, but it's still bullish. We had the moving averages bullish. We said yesterday that it's trying to move higher. It's just having a difficult time doing that, and it's successfully doing it this morning, and neither the jobless claims or Draghi speaking has hindered it at all. And we see, let me look at something while we're talking about, I just want to bring up the economic calendar real quick and see what else we've got. Today we have jobless claims, they're done. We've got the Philly Fed at 10 o'clock. We've got housing data at 10 o'clock. We got Yellen speaking again today at 10 o'clock. We've got the EIA report at 10:30. That should only affect oil, and that's about it. Tomorrow we have consumer price index at 8:30. We've got housing starts at 8:30. We've got consumer sentiment at 10 o'clock. So that's the rest of the week for the economic calendar. So the euro sliding lower. Important price support here at 1080 at 800. If it starts breaking below 800, we'll be looking down at the 600 level here. The cable off this morning star pushes higher, a rest day, pulling back a little bit. I still view this as bullish. I'm still expecting the cable to be pushing higher. If we get a close underneath both moving averages, I'll change my view on that. Both the Aussie and the Kiwi have been in downtrends. We see the Aussie in a bear flag right now, and we've got the Kiwi, which is in a really nice trend channel that keeps pushing lower, and this would be a new low close if it was to close right here. And here we see the yen pushing higher. 124.50 is our target on that, and still remains that way. We see the euro yen down a little bit, same issue as the dollar yen, and it's trying to push a little bit lower. And we've got the CAD, which has had a really nice move recently, and we see it continuing to push higher, riding the upper Bollinger Band. So the things that I'll be watching today is if this dollar can break above the 98 level, and what's going to happen throughout the day, if this is going to drift higher on light volume, which certainly is possible at this time, or if something happens today in which sellers come in and it provides us with a shooting star. So everybody have a great day, and we'll talk to you later on.